Welcome to a short video description of a complete system. This is my project, and the use of this project is to detect the blockage in a pipeline system. This one is dedicated to a borehole. Let's say you have a pump, it pumps water from a borehole, and then you have an inline filter in the system, and then you can actually detect a blockage in that system that I've just described using this project. So how it does that is that you have the first module and the second one. We'll call this module 1 and module 2. So module 2 measures the flow rate and then transmit it wirelessly to module 1. And then what you can do with module 1 is that you can actually set specific set points on this module and which ensures that when the set point is exceeded or a certain value that is measured from the second module is below the set point, then an alarm will be triggered because there's a speaker system installed in the first module. So let me show you a quick demonstration or description because we are trying to get this video to be short, right? So when I switch on this system, you have a lock screen which shows you the current time and date. Not that fancy. When you switch on this system, what this system does is starts flashing, right? Because I only press this button, it starts flashing. But what you realize is that also this one starts flashing to show you that there's wireless communication which validates what I've just told you, that this one transmits information to this one wirelessly using radio communication. And I have wrote the complete code inside Microchip Studio to achieve that. I did not use any existing libraries, to be honest. That is the reason my code is very long, more than 2,000 lines of code. So what does that long code, what fascinating things that does that lines of code do? So if you use the keypad, you'll see that the system opens. I'm not sure if my camera is gonna do me justice. And then when I press 2, what happens is that the modules are still communicating. And now in this case, it's showing flow, which I have dedicated this to showing the flow rate transmitted from this module to this module. And at the moment it's 0, because there's no fluid or air passing through of any pressure passing through the system which can measure the flow rate, and they're still communicating. And below that, it's the volume, which will measure the volume depending on the flow rate, and the volume will of course accumulate. And what additional things have I added to the system? So what I've done is that you simply connect this system to your pipeline. When you do that, what will happen is that you will have a flow rate displaying here being measured, right? And then when that flow rate is measured, you know the normal flow rate from your house or from your system, industry, or any mine. Now you know that, okay, this is the normal flow rate. Then using this keypad interface, you are able to set a specific set point to say, okay, it shouldn't go below the specific set point, right? Or it shouldn't go above it. And then if it does, which means if the flow rate changes over time while you are still pumping water from that borehole, then this system will trigger the speaker system which is installed inside this first module, indicating to the user that, okay, there's an irregularity in the system, you can go check. So meaning the user does not have to constantly go to the irrigation or sanitation system to check if the filter is blocked. No, the system can actually do all that hard work for you, can simply trigger that speaker to tell you that, okay, there's an irregularity in the system because the flow rate is no longer as normal, and you as the user, you've set the flow rate already. So that's what you're seeing. You're seeing this transmitting to this module, and you're seeing certain values on these two modules. And my video of course has to be short, so I have tested this module before with a pipe connection. So I've connected a pipe on a tap, that's what I've done, and then when the water flows through, it gives me a specific flow rate here, and then I say, okay, that's my flow rate. And as my normal flow rate, I'm gonna have a set point which is a little above, right? To say, okay, if the set point is above this, and then my flow rate is low, then I see that, okay, now the speaker system is on, showing me that, okay, your flow rate is below, meaning that the actual set point that you should put, it's a set point a little below the normal, so that when the flow rate which is measured from the second module is transmitted and it happens to be lower than the set point, you know that, okay, something is blocking the flow of water in the system. There's a lot of functionality that I've added in the system, but of course you can't show that on a simple and short video. But this serves as my complete project, and you are able, of course, to turn off all the module. This module can be conveniently attached to a wall if you want to use it. And then also this one can be switched on, and what you're seeing in the system, this section here can actually be eliminated. I just needed a 3.3 volt regulators installed inside the system. Unfortunately, I didn't have the finances to complete that, so I ended up using what I had. But you can actually eliminate all that system to make it more portable and nice, and then you can use it. So each system can switch on independently, and what you're seeing is that this system is on at the moment, but there's no flashing, showing you that there's no wireless communication, but you can still use this. You can use this to enter the pin, and then open the system. You have a few options you can use. The first one is the status. What the status does is shows you what is on, what is off inside the system, the important key points. And other things are the codes that you have. When you press star, what happens is that you go into command mode. In command mode, that's where you're going to be able to set up the set points, and also the date and time, as you've seen on the lock screen, that you're having date and time displayed in the lock screen. I'm looking forward to explaining a lot or go into detail with this project and show you how this project completely works and how it's implemented in a working environment. Thank you.